Hi guys, my name is Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who do not know, I go by The Divine Venus on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Patreon, Facebook, etc. everything. So if you want to find me, follow me on any of those other platforms, get more daily updates on stuff, you can go right ahead there. But we are going to be talking about my favorite planet today, Venus, obviously. Venus is my favorite and she's going to go retrograde. And when any planet goes retrograde, it's actually a really good time to pay attention because retrograde means going inside of yourself. So Venus right now, as I'm speaking, is actually in pre-shadow, marching forward in the degrees that she's going to go retrograde in Gemini. And so right now we're kind of outward, external, and we're creating the mess that Venus retrograde is going to fix. So pay attention, if you're watching this now, to what's happening in your life, to the people that you're communicating with, to the thoughts that you are saying out loud, to what you're posting on social media, because all of that is going to go internally starting May 13th. Actually, after Gemini, or the North Node goes into Gemini from Cancer. So it's gonna be a big time. May is a big transitional phase, which is funny because we've been in so many transitional phases this year already. So it's like, what could this possibly bring that's new? Well, one, you should watch my Gemini North Node video that I already have on my channel to see what kind of that energy will look like. I actually made it before all of this happened, but it still rings true to what we're going to be doing and where we're going. But when Venus goes retrograde, this is going to be internalized conversations where we really learn what we value in ourselves. Venus is a creator. Venus wants to create. This is why she is the goddess of beauty, of sex, well, sexual recreation, but things to make stuff come from her own body. Beauty, glory, attention. She wants all of that because she is the creator. And so when Venus is in Gemini, we see what is the creator walking through. What is she strolling along doing? She's in the area of communication and communities. And so obviously we are separate from people right now. And we're too close to other people. So some people we want to be close to and we miss them and you're talking to them, and other people you're so close to, you spend so much time with, you hate them and you want to destroy them. And that is a lot of what this is going to be about. It's about who do you love, right? And do the people that you love you? Who's loyal to you? Are you loyal to them? Do these people that you are distancing from yourself, do they actually matter in your life anymore? Do you matter in their life anymore? If you can't waste time being around people, should you even bother? I know this is gonna sound like so introverted and isolation of me, but we don't realize how many people and how many things we waste time on when it comes to just chatting with friends. Every moment that you spend just having a conversation over coffee with a friend, there's an airplane, is a moment that you can never get back. It's time you can never get back to make something of yourself. And a moment that you spend fighting with your spouse or a loved one that you have to live with because they're fucking irritating and they're giving you anxiety is another longer moment of adrenaline and anxiety and sadness that you can never get back. So when Venus goes into Gemini, Venus goes retrograde in Gemini, it's going to be a lot of you trying to sort of figure that part out. Like, what do you love? Who do you love? Who do you want to speak to and who do you not want to speak to? And are you being fair? Like, are you being fair with the people that you love? Because Gemini is so mental, and when we get up in our mind, we can really feel like we're right. And, Venus naturally rules Libra, which is like the sign of self-righteousness. So we have all of this, like, we're right, what I know is true. And that just causes fights with people you don't want to fight with, and destruction where you don't want to make destruction because you love. We were born to love. And obviously, when we're in a place that is unstable, we are afraid, and that Venus can't really operate correctly. So right now, we might be marching out with words of abuse, with words that will cause trauma to ourselves and to others, with anger, malice, issues are arising because what is happening in the world. So Venus is going to go retrograde to make sure you stop doing that, to make sure that you actually start to really pay attention to your own heart and to speak your heart's truth, not your brain's truth, because your brain is stupid. I know, like, I say this a lot. Your head is stupid. Your head is so easily swayed by emotional energy that you can't even see. And that's why monarch mind control works really well. That's why you can force somebody's hand by telling them that you're not going to love them if they don't do that, because your brain is going to catch on and be like, I don't want that. But does your heart care? I mean, if you listen to it, you can find out. And so what we're doing right now is we're learning how to spend time with ourselves and to listen to our own heart so that we know what we're supposed to be doing with our time. And no, it's not arguing, and it's not catching up with people who are far away. Okay, really, what does this do? Okay, I'm just kind of wondering. You call somebody you haven't seen in like 2 weeks because you haven't been out of your house, and you're talking about how you both are not out of your house. I mean, like, realistically, like, you're both just bored. What have you been doing? Nothing. I'm too busy talking to people on Zoom or on a phone call instead of actually doing something that's going to make your heart come alive, because you're dying slowly. And you start to realize that communicating with friends from far distances kills you a little bit, because you're now just wasting your energy talking instead of speaking to yourself and being like, what do you want to do? You know, there are some people who are kind of picking up this energy and they are talking to themselves and they're like creating. And when you have Gemini, Venus and Gemini, you are a natural born communicator through creativity. So you can, if you paint, you're going to tell a story with your paintings. If you write, you're going to tell a story with your writing. And that is the best way to get this fear and anxiety outside of you. And so there is something that I like to do, kind of makes things a little bit easier to understand. When a planet goes retrograde, it actually flips and acts like a different planet, and the sign goes to the opposing sign. So for instance, Venus becomes Mercury when it goes retrograde, and Gemini will become Sagittarius. So if we look at this energy, like it is Mercury in Sagittarius, we can actually see what this means. Sagittarius is the sign of expansion and growth and spirituality, faith-based attention to things. This is where religion is. This is also where fame is. This is where we have our beliefs met. It's higher octave learning. It's enlightenment. Having Mercury in there, Mercury's not always wanting to then, if you have Mercury in Sagittarius, it's not about talking to people. It's not about connecting to people. It's about connecting to your own wisdom and strength of your spirit and your connection to the universe. And like, where are you and who are you and what is your fucking soul purpose? Since Venus has gone into Gemini, in general, I feel like people have been really on their soul purpose, because here it's about loving your own self. It's about really analyzing who you are. And so when it's retrograde, it's going to be in that moment of like expanding your insides of how are you going to make your mark on the world now that the world is different. And you have to let go of everything to do that. You have to let go of your friends. You have to let go of anything that's not with you in the room right now. And you have to understand that when you go through a portal like this, because it is a portal, it's a form of portal. There's portals that we go through all the time, but this is one of them. We're heading into, because the world has shut down, so it has to reopen. And when it does, we've gone through the portal. And you can't get into a portal with a bunch of extra things hanging over you that don't actually matter as much as you think they do. You have to just be willing to let go of everything that you have, knowing that if it's meant to stay in the new world, it will come back to you. If you love something, let it go. That's power. That's what you're meant to be doing. And so this is all about you understanding that, losing the actual here and now, losing these familiar relationships, these Gemini communicative connections, and going outside of yourself and actually having the wisdom not to pick battles with the people that you love just because you're fucking bored and you're anxious and your energy is tired because you don't know where you're going. Finding out what makes you come alive is about finding out who you are as a person. And we live in a society, we live in a culture that tells you that who you are is what you do. And as far as we know, that's true, but it's not true anymore. Who you are is who you are inside of you, and no one is looking. And that goes into what we like to do. Who you are, what you like to do, what you've made. that's the hierarchy of that. So if we can't even go inside and see what we love about ourselves because we don't even know who we are, then this is definitely a problem. We stopped myself for a second. We need to make sure that we learn about who we are. And the only way you can do that is to spend time with you and not with the people around you, and not wasting your precious energy growing weird attachments with the people who are the closest to you. Stop wasting your energy. So as we march through the shadow period before Venus does go retrograde, this is about you learning, like paying attention to the things that you do, paying attention to how much time you're wasting. Because when Venus goes retrograde, it will march over this stuff and it will say, well, you wasted a lot of time with this person. You wasted a lot of time being angry. You wasted a lot of time being fearful. Live in the now, live in the moment. Every day is important. Every day you wake up and you think, what am I gonna do today? Today I might sleep all day. Today I might watch Netflix all day. Today I might eat a bunch of sugar because it's fun. Or today I might paint. Today I might write. Today I might work on something that I feel is a part of me and it makes me come alive. And that is what we should be doing, and that is what Venus retrograde will make sure you do. Changing your mindset with my favorite planet. Removing all obstacles that block your brain so that you can be clearer for the future. Now, if you don't want to lose these familiar attachments, if you are so afraid that if you let something go, it won't return to you, then you're gonna have a huge problem. It's gonna be really hard. You're gonna be more anxious. You're gonna be more worried. You're gonna be more blocked in. But if you can be free in your spirit to learn about you and to not waste time talking to people about the nothing that they're doing, you're gonna come out of this stronger and more alive. And that's the power of Venus retrograde in Gemini. So thank you for listening. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.